I'm Nancy. I'm the owner of Everyone's Books. I started it with my husband 36 years ago, and we were further down Elliott Street, but now we've been here since 1993 and plan to stay here for another long time. So please, you are welcome to come in, and we're open 7 days a week. The Harmony parking lot and the on-street parking is free on Sundays, so if you're concerned about that, that's the easiest time to get in. Starting right here, we have a lot of activity books for kids right here, so there's all sorts of stuff, sticker books, maze books, paint by sticker books, and a lot of puzzles down there. So there's a lot of fun stuff for kids to do. On this rack, and this rack, and this rack is all activity books. And then when we come over here, this rack on both sides is all graphic novels and graphic nonfiction for kids. So it kind of ranges from elementary through middle school kids books that are all in this area. And then if you go further back in this area, we have the reading books for middle grades, and we have the reading books for young adults. We have lots and lots of series back here. So a lot of these are the kind of silly series like the 100-Story Treehouse and Bad Kitty, and there's Big Nate. There's some really goofy stuff here. A lot of kids are very, very happy with goofy. And there's a lot of Lego books, and this is all nonfiction. There's more activity books here. This is books about sort of things that kids might wonder, older kids might wonder about, like, growing up issues and that sort of thing. And then we can move again. This is where we have a lot of books that some of you might be interested in. We have our middle grade and early reader fiction. Here in this big spinner we have sort of fiction for kids who have recently learned to read and are okay at it. Things like Owl Diaries and other books for kids who are relative beginners but know what they're doing with the reading process. And kids love this series, this level of books. Kids who are been reading for a year or two. They're just right for you. And these are the I Can Reads. We have hundreds of I Can Read books on this spinner, and those are really for kids who are learning to read. So this is, the sort of beginner to beginner plus a little bit who will be picking these books out to read them. Now, when you're in here, we also have a bunch of books that are picture books all along. The paperback picture books go all along here. The hardcover picture books go from here over there. And these are all books about mythology and ancient stories. And a lot of people are liking them, especially since a lot of us have read the books by Rick Riordan, and kids are really getting into a lot of mythology and that sort of thing. There's coloring books over there and some board books. And then we also have a lot of sciencey, if for kids who are interested in science type books. This is all science, and this is all nonfiction and biography for younger kids than the stuff I showed you on the other side. This is the board books for the really young kids, and this is kind of specialized stuff like poetry books, bilingual books, mostly Spanish and English, but there are a couple of other languages there. These are some special books that represent cultures from different places in the world, including Native Americans that are right here. These are books for holidays, all different kinds of holidays around the world. And I think that's pretty much, one more group of books to show you guys is the books. These are also very, very popular. These I Survived, Choose Your Own Adventure type books. So there's a whole area of them, and kids, we've been selling lots of those along with the Mad Libs. Those kids really like. There's a lot of like putting yourself in the position of being the storyteller when you're reading an I survived book. You know, what are you going to do if you're out in the Oregon Trail and you have a huge snowstorm? What are you going to do if you're on the Titanic? Who are you and how do you live? So there's a lot to read about here.
This is The Paperbag Princess by Robert Munsch, and it is a story about someone named Elizabeth. Some of you might know this book already. So Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and had expensive princess clothes. She was going to marry a prince named Ronald. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed her castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that wasn't burnt was a paper bag. So she put on the paper bag and followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forests and horses' bones. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess! I love to eat princesses, but I've already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." So he slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat a princess, but I've already eaten a whole castle today. I am a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait," shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you're the smartest and fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon. "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon, and he took a huge, deep breath and breathed out so much that he burnt up 50 forests. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath and breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth, and the dragon took another huge breath. But this time nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and jumped up and flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired when he got back, but Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic, do it again!" So the dragon jumped up and flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and went straight to sleep. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon didn't move at all. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired he didn't even move. Elizabeth walked right over the dragon and opened the door to his cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you're a mess. You smell like ashes, your hair is all tangled, and you are wearing a dirty old paper bag. Come back when you are dressed like a real princess." Oh, some pages are hard to turn. "Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince, but you are a bum." And they didn't get married after all.